Okay, well, as mentioned in the previous video about the Molinere project slippage, apparently they've decided to go with an entirely new design and instead build a bridge with some piers and settle for a shorter retaining wall at the bottom of the bridge. Apparently, they might have figured that the whole retaining wall system and, with the geo grid and geotextile would have been a little too challenging. And I guess guys locally are more familiar with a reinforced concrete structure. I mean, the piers would, have some sort of rebar requirement. And of course, there's formwork. So that is something I think they've done already and they're a little more familiar with. So makes sense. Hopefully, as I say, this was thoroughly checked by local engineers, and they all seem to be in agreement that it's workable and everything is fine. So I guess we can trust their judgment. Um, this one seems to include a sort of pedestrian walkway. So hopefully the global stability of the entire system was checked. I'm sure they've done their due diligence and they've checked for impact loading, which of course in layman terms is some guy driving home late at night, new road. He's drunk like a fish, as would be said locally. And he's driving 50, 60 miles an hour, whatever speed you guys decide to go down there. And he bumps into the pedestrian walkway. Hopefully, that would have been designed for some sort of impact loading, and it would be able to take his impact with his truck or his SUV or whatever he's driving, or a car or whatever. But again, this looks workable. There's, probably what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pairs as seen in the picture. 9 pairs plus the abutment holding up like, a roadway deck or something like that. So, and there's some sort of barrier wall at the extreme end of the roadway. So, hopefully this works out and this meets the needs of the project. And everybody was involved in consultation for the project. And I guess the community would have been involved also, that hey, there's a little redesign, Hence the reason why in the previous video also, remember the contractor was mentioning that they had to get some additional piles. So in the initial design, they probably would have just need some pile work for the face of the retaining wall. But in this design, of course, they will have to put all these piers under the bridge on piles, because of the inherent weak strength of the soil. The unfortunate thing with a redesign of that nature is that you sort of get a two-for-one special because you had an initial design, and it looks to me that quite possibly that initial design was obviously insufficient and also really doesn't play a major part in the new design. And redesign, the word, redesign can be misleading, because knowing the nature of this business, I could imagine the new designers would have said, you know what? Oh, hey guys, look at all the problems you had with the original design. So guess what? We will have to do an entirely new design because we can't take it for granted, which I believe they shouldn't take it for granted that the original design was done properly. So they'll say, look, we have to do our own investigation and stuff like that, and that sort of thing. And unfortunately, it will cost you. It will cost you. So as I said, you end up getting a two-for-one special because you paid for initial design, and then you have to do an entirely new design. It's a bit unfortunate, but as the saying goes, you've got to bite the bullet. It's something that has to be done. Somewhat unfortunate. The taxpayers are going to take a hit. But that's the nature of the business. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Then, of course, you have to take into consideration the delay, lost in time, money, You also have to figure, I'm sure they probably would have compared the cost of construction for the old design and the cost of construction for the new design. Hopefully it starts to even off, you know what I'm saying? And there's no additional monies have to spend for the the new design and the construction cost of the new design, which quite possibly, based on what is being proposed, um, there definitely would be a little additional cost in terms of construction. When you're dealing with reinforced concrete and piers, and you have to, build forms and stuff like that, that's costly. Usually, rule of thumb, 20% for the forms. Just the forms alone are 20% of the cost of construction for the reinforced concrete. So I don't know. Probably things are different, and they'll figure a way to work this out. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, with the lessons learned, you can have better project management and better supervision of what's going on. Hopefully, things can be done on schedule and on budget, and more importantly, provide a bit of relief to the people of the community in the area, and also a bit of relief in terms of people that use the Western Side corridor. I'm sure they'll be definitely relieved when this project is completed. I think there was an estimation for January 2024. But like everything else, there's always delays. So I don't know the schedule as is now, or how far along they are. If anybody has any updates, please feel free to share, and I'll definitely, take a look at it and see where we're at. So that being the case, there you have it. You have a new design. It's a bridge and over, and the rendering doesn't do entirely justice of what it's going to look like. But of course, this is just a rendering, so it gives you a general idea of what is going to take place. So let's see. I'm sure everybody's anxiously awaiting the completion of this project. Take care, guys.